Hi, I'm Dianne. Today we're going to be looking at artworks by 5 different Mexican and Mexican American artists in the Milwaukee Art Museum's collection. Ready? Mexican American artist Felipe Archuleta was born in New Mexico in 1910. He was a sculptor. When he first started making art, he made small sculptures of pets and farm animals. He used his skills as a woodworker to figure out how to connect and manipulate shapes and textures until they looked the way he wanted them. Archuleta never bought materials. He used everyday objects that might have otherwise been discarded, like leftover scraps of wood, old hats, ropes, used farm equipment, and even hair from his pet cats and dogs. Can you guess what materials he used to make this porcupine sculpture? Gallery owners in New Mexico liked Archuleta's work and encouraged him to make larger sculptures. Drawing inspiration from National Geographic magazines, he started sculpting animals he had never seen in real life, like elephants and giraffes. To bring his sculptures to galleries and collectors, Archuleta had to load them in the back of his pickup truck. His grandson, Ron Rodriguez, remembers how his grandfather liked to drive all around town showing off his artwork. Diego Rivera was born in Mexico in 1886. In the early 1900s, Rivera traveled to Europe to study art. He saw and experimented with many different European styles before returning to Mexico, where he became a key figure in the Mexican mural movement. Rivera used his work to support workers' rights, among other issues. In this lithograph from the museum's collection, titled Fruits of Labor, you can see an agricultural worker sharing apples with children. By showing this worker at the center of his print, Rivera shows that he thinks this person is very important. After returning to his homeland, Rivera also began to develop his own unique style, combining some of the painting techniques he learned in Europe with techniques used in early Mexican art. He used bright colors and simplified forms similar to those of the Aztecs, and he used images to tell stories similar to artwork made by the Mayans. In this charcoal and pastel drawing from 1938 titled Profile of an Indian Woman with Lilacs, Rivera uses his style to proudly draw attention to this woman's Mesoamerican heritage. Painter Rufino Tamayo was born in Mexico in 1899. Tamayo chose colors very carefully. He felt that using fewer colors made each painting more meaningful. Take a close look at this painting by the artist, titled Hombre en Rojo, Man in Red in Spanish. How many colors do you see? I see 4, red, blue, green, and black. Is there a tiny bit of white too? There is. I see how there is black around the red man's figure. It looks like a shadow, and it really makes the red man pop out when I look at it. The black layered over the blue and the green make me think of shadows too. Maybe it's nighttime. Here's another painting by Tamayo. It's called La Paisana, Femme en Mauve. In English, Peasant Woman, Woman in Mauve. Mauve is a pale purplish pink color. Do you see where the mauve is in the painting? What other colors do you see? Do you ever limit the number of colors you use in your artwork on purpose? Give it a try sometime. Consuelo Amézcua was born in Mexico in 1903. Her family immigrated to Texas when she was 10 years old. The artist developed her own style, made up of complex lines and patterns. She called her works filigree drawings because they resembled the tiny, intricate details in traditional Mexican filigree jewelry. To create each work, Amézcua used a ballpoint pen on paper or cardboard and filled the entire surface with images and patterns. Look at this drawing by the artist, titled God Created the Heavens and the Earth. There are so many details and colored-in spaces. I can see only a few spots with no ink. Can you? How long would it take you to cover a piece of paper with lines and shapes like this? Amézcua also wrote poetry and sometimes incorporated the text of her poems into her drawings. This work, titled Legend of the Seed, includes a poem about a little seed. It reads, Once there was a little seed that was thrown along the road. She wanted a drink of water and the dust to dress her up. Let me be a shadow tree, she claimed with desperation. Who will give me a drink of water and arrange me a good foundation? Later in the poem, the seed gets some rain and some dirt and is able to grow up to be a beautiful tree, which you can see in Amézcua's drawing. What kinds of stories do you think she might be telling in her other drawings? Manuel Alvarez Bravo was born in Mexico in 1902. He is considered one of the most important Latin American photographers of the 20th century. Alvarez Bravo liked to capture everyday objects and interactions. He often focused on the textures of different surfaces. This photo is titled Carrizo y Tele, which means the plant, a carrizo is a type of reed plant, and television. Look at the way the leaves of the plant echo the lines of the antenna on the roof. The leaves are thick, the antenna is thin. Both seem to be suspended in the sky. Look at some of the other contrasting textures, shapes, and lines in his other photos. Alvarez Bravo was also interested in depicting indigenous communities in Mexico and the way they lived their day-to-day lives. Look at these photos of people outside. They aren't dressed up for a fancy occasion or doing anything unusual. What kinds of images would you use to show what life is like in your community?